Okay guys, so in this video we are going to talk about a very important topic if you are a developer. Once in your career, once you reach a certain level, when you have to work in a team or a company, you will mostly come across this concept. So let's talk about CI/CD, implementing a CI/CD pipeline with GitHub and Docker. So what we are going to do is first I'm going to demonstrate you what this is going to what's the result itself, and then we'll talk a bit about how this is achieved. It's really simple once you have it set up, because yeah, as with most of these things, the first setup is a little bit more complicated, but then the amount of flexibility and automation and the benefits you get from using it are very good. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump to this demonstration. So what I'm going to do is to try, this is a really simple and it may be a silly example, but what I'm going to do is to try and add a new Udemy course here, a new entry to my education. So yeah, just for reference, this is my portfolio. So yeah, I just finished a new course, so I'm going to write it. But what I'm going to do is actually first deploy it to a testing environment where I can see actually if everything is correct. So as you can see here, I have set up a testing environment where you can see it's the same because I don't have any changes, but we will first push the changes to this environment, and you will see that that's really simple. And afterwards, once we verify that the changes are correct, we are going to push that to the main site. So yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So here okay, so here I go, education, and then let's go down a little bit. Let's order this so that it looks better, and then let's grab here, do a junk, and I can't actually see where the, okay, so yeah, okay, so now let's break this, and what's this, okay, so let's say Udemy course on Ansible, because that's what I did, and then yeah, let's get this file, because as for now this is in my downloads. So let's say cp downloads Udemy Ansible, yeah, and then let's say to assets images. Okay, so let's get back to this buffer, and let's say here Udemy Ansible.pdf. Okay, so now this should be good. So what I'm going to do is, and you can see here it's important that I am on the dev branch, so that would be the developing branch, not in the main one. And here you could have a scheme with more branches, but for this example, as it's really simple, it's just a proof of concept, you can get the idea with just two branches. This is the dev. And also actually it would make more sense to have, like, let's say a backend application, because this is just a plain text, plain HTML displayed here with a little bit of styling, but anyway, it will show you how it's done and what you can do. So let's go ahead and push these changes. So let's say let's add the assets, images, and Udemy Ansible, and let's say let's commit, and let's say add Ansible course, Okay, and now let's push to origin dev. Okay, so now as you can see it's being pushed. So if I come here to my to my GitHub account, here in dev, you can see that there's this orange dot, and what this means is that we are running an action, and that's a part that I'm going to be talking about. But the main goal of this is that when you push, when you make a push, you can execute some commands, and this is what it's doing here. So it's going to build a Docker image. It's going to actually push it into the GitHub repository, and it's going to then download that image into my server and put it in the testing part. So as you can see here, we have now got this entry, and this is green, so it says that everything went right from that perspective. And let's see if the certificate is right, because I always get that wrong. And yeah, as you can see here, it's right. So now it's time to do so yeah, actually in a team you would have some people dedicated to checking, or some other testing, like unit testing or something, to test if this is right. But yeah, here what we can do now is just to do a pull request to the main branch. And yeah, let's say this create pull request, and it's able to merge because we didn't miss anything there. And yeah, let's say let's merge the branches. Yeah, so this has been merged. We are not going to delete the dev branch, just because I know that I'm going to use it in the near future. But yeah, in a real team you could go about deleting and creating new branches. And as you can see, the pull request also creates a push action. So yeah, here what you can see is, let's say to let's go to actions, and you can see that also that triggered an action. And as you can see, when we are going to see this now afterwards, these are called workbooks, I believe. I forgot the naming, but yeah, okay. So now that's right, that's green. So now we should have here the certificate, and yeah, there you go, and you have your certificate right, and the new content. So as you can see, this was a very fast way of doing some tests. Yeah, so there's some automation behind this, and there is also some human verifying that this is indeed correct. And now I am going to show you what are the files that you need to set up in order to achieve this. So let's go, and yeah, these are the ones that are a bit tricky to get. So let's go back here, and this is under the GitHub, and then yeah, workflows, and then let's go yeah, for instance, let's bring the main one. And yeah, as you can see, well, I haven't got YAML lighting on Emacs yet, but that should be fine. As you can see, this action is going, this is called an action, so it's going to be triggered when I push to the main branch. And yeah, there are some environmental variables here that are not very important, but we're going to use the Docker registry that GitHub offers us, and that's ghcr.io. And then what we are going to do is use this Ubuntu latest, that's a VM that GitHub offers us to run all of these commands. So yeah, these are the individual actions themselves, and the checkout, what it's doing is copying the contents. Yeah, so the checkout action, what it's doing, it's just copying the contents of the repository into, so the actual files into the virtual machine. Then we are going to log in into the container registry, and that's also using an action, and these things are given to you already, so you don't need to set anything up there on that side. Then you have some metadata extraction, that's not that important, and I also didn't came up with all of this. This is in the GitHub documentation. And now what you are going to want to do is to build and push the Docker image, and for that, yeah, obviously, as you may have guessed, well, let me get to the let's see to my website, and then into the Docker file, which is really simple because it's just an HTTPD server, and here is where you can have more complicated things, but yeah, here I'm just serving my website, so it's really simple, and it's using that Docker file. And yeah, it will use the tag, so in this case, as we are in the main branch, it will use the main tag, and in the other one it will use the dev tag. So that's important to know, because now what I have done is to execute some remote commands on my server, and that's, yeah, you do need an actual server for this. You can't just go about using this without this server, because here what I'm doing is to executing this, to pulling this image from the GHCR, and as you can see, I'm using the main tab, and that's important because in the other one, in the dev file, I'm using the dev, so yeah, that's important. Don't forget about that part, because here by default it doesn't say, it doesn't tag it as latest, so if you don't do this, it won't work. Yeah, so here I'm pulling the image into the server, then I'm stopping it, I'm removing the Docker image, and then I'm running it in a port that gets redirected to my to the main. In this case, this is the main the main domain. So yeah, this was all, and only one thing more. This is important because these are some secrets that you have defined yourself, and as I explained here, for instance, these ones, you don't define them yourself, or those ones you don't define them yourselves, but these three ones, let me get that right. These three ones you do state them yourself. So what you are going to do is to go here and to go here, and yeah, I believe it's here under settings, and it's here under secrets. And don't worry, because once you get them in, then you can't get them out, so there's no worry about it. And you can use also this SSH action with I believe the SSH keys, but yeah, just for simplicity I haven't set that up already. But yeah, I hope this was useful for some of you, and that you can now implement some of the CI/CD pipelines using these GitHub actions and Docker.